Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series, October 8th, 1988 is our task for the moment, and we are fast approaching the close of the World Class Series. Please join us for the entire series. By the end, over 340 episodes, between 8 to 15 minutes or so, usually around the 10 or 11 minute mark, going through episodically. Yes, there are missing episodes. They are notated in the episodes if you want to watch them. But the most comprehensive audio history of World Class online that I know of. If there's something bigger, please tell me. But anyway, we move to highlights of Hayes and Steve Cox versus the Samoan SWAT team. I believe they're in Memphis or another area because the ring canvas looks different here. Obviously, the Samoans, former tag team champions here, getting ready to try to take over and take their belts back. Hayes, a multi-time tag team champion and 7-time World Six-Man Tag Team Champion in World Class. Hayes was so decorated in the area, and the more I do some research on Hayes, the more I realize how underrated he is for people that don't know the Dallas area. Anyway, the Samoan SWAT team go to town on Steve Cox, managed to drop kick him, or kind of half drop kick him off the top turnbuckle when they were setting up for a suplex. Anyway, backdrop and a clothesline by a freshly tagged in Michael Hayes. Hayes goes to town on his adversaries. He is not the least bit worried. Does the double Naga knocker. That doesn't work out well for him. And the Samoans turn it around. Samoan SWAT team turns it around. That is not a move you use against the Samoans. Anyway, everybody out onto the arena floor, and we kind of see a brawl on the floor between the tag team champions. Steve Cox, better lit show than normal, so that's interesting. I wonder if they weren't trying to pitch the program to another venue or something. I don't really know what's going on, but anyway, Buddy Roberts helps to steal the tag team championships. Hayes is upset with this. Black Bart and Ronnie Garvin. Ronnie Garvin, by this point, former NWA champion, had beat Ric Flair in 1987, and still trying to find his way before he has both a WWF and a Smoky Mountain run. But here he has a quick stopover in World Class. Bart is a good opponent for him as they both strike hard and fast. Rugged Ronnie Garvin, of course, mainstay in the NWA for several years, as well as, but not limited to, a big deal in Montreal, and has a short cup of coffee in the WWF as well. Smoky Mountain, as I mentioned. But right here, trying to find some extra work. And, I mean, Ronnie Garvin, known for hitting hard. Chops and jabs and the like. He's not a guy who's going to pull back or hold back in any event. Big body slam and a crucifix style hold, tries to get him over. Doesn't get all he wants on that. It's almost like Bart doesn't want to go all the way over, but a 2 count off of that. Garvin is a guy who kind of grinds the knee into the right under the arm. I wouldn't say the armpit, under the armpit of Black Bart. Bart, of course, as mentioned, a former world champion, and obviously that's there and kind of meanders through. Hard shots by Black Bart. Bart actually hangs longer than one would imagine with the former NWA champion. Crossbody 1-2, and a crossbody from the top you would think would be enough to get the job done is not enough for Ron Garvin to get it done fully. They run together in the middle of the ring. Bit of chaos there. Bart on the top rope, and manages to come down, he tries to hit the leg drop, doesn't get it done. Garvin in with an inside cradle, 1-2-3, gets the job done. Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express up next against Tom Jones. Interesting to see Robert on his own. I wonder if Ricky was scheduled to come in later or what happens there. Jones, we've seen a handful of times before in the last month or two. Not exactly a standout guy, but not his maiden voyage in the area either. Go behind and switch by Rock and Roll Express. I wonder if they may not have been working towards something like a Rock and Roll and Samoan SWAT team in the Dallas territory, or where that was going to go. Ride time for, Jones, and he kind of uses the head scissors and all of that. Kind of tries to roll through it a bit, and side headlock by Gibson. Really basic stuff. Gibson holds on to the hold a little bit longer, and finally does get a hard shot. Rolls to the outside. Gibson gets a small package. 1-2-3, get the victory there. Comments from Steve Cox and Kendall Windham. Cox and Windham going to be a new team here. Windham obviously really green and uncomfortable in front of the microphone. Steve Cox has to feed him. Cox has been around less than a year, but he's feeding for Kendall Windham here, trying to get themselves ready to be one of the stronger teams in the area. The Beast and Terry Gordy is your main event. Gordy, of course, back in the area. They could use all the extra star power they can get. The Beast, otherwise known as Kamala. I don't know if he's Kamala too. I don't know if that started in Japan by this point or not yet. But anyhow, Gordy gets choked out over the bottom rope, chops and such by Kamala. Tries to pull him back to his feet, and Gordy does a lot more selling in this match than one would typically expect, being Bam Bam Gordy and already going to Japan, doing a major deal over there. I mean, they were still making between $5,000 to $10,000 a week, depending on where you ranked on the card in Japan. So why would you take a step back? Clothesline big lariat by Gordy. Gordy not willing to do anything short of his best. Gordy actually does get the big man up in a body slam position and executes the slam. That's a little bit more than I think anyone expected, including most of the fans in attendance. Gordy trying to chop down the legs of the big man, trying to cut him off in whatever way he can. Takes several clotheslines, but finally does level the big man with a lariat. 1, 2, and big man out the back door. Surprising there. They brawl to the outside, brawling on the arena floor. Wouldn't want to be on the floor of the Sportatorium, but things do not go well here. Several shots, and again, Gordy allows that brawl around to go every which way. Clothesline back in the ring. Referee has not called for the official bell. There is blood in the middle here, and the Beast finally does run away. They start advertising for Super Clash 3. They're talking about a non-company pay-per-view in 1988. Harry Gordy cuts a promo to close the show. Basically says he doesn't understand Jerry Lawler getting the shot, or actually doesn't understand Kerry Von Erich getting the shot at the world-class defense and getting the shot at Super Clash against Jerry Lawler. He says he could beat Lawler, says he can beat anyone in the area, and plans to do so. So that's the close for that particular program. We'll be back with more right after this.